right. And we're live, guys. Hello. It's Andre McClendon once again, and my co-host for this is Blake. Today we'll be making a automated trading robot for the SPY, and let's begin. All right, present, share screen. So if you guys want to learn how to make a robot trading the SPYs, let me know. I will be showing this live, and it will be for beginners. I won't make it complicated at all. I'll try to at least. Sometimes I have to remove the screen to use one of my functions. And this is me testing out an indicator. So I got the SPY open. So what do you need me to do?
So we're going to try trading it on a 1 minute ticker.
All right, check. 1 minute.
And if you look at today's price action, you're going to see the frustration I had to deal with today. There was the indicators I'm used to using will show me like aggregate demand. And there was a lot of coiling this morning, and I kept getting lied to by the dollar. And so I took a couple of losses that I was not happy about because I'm used to the dollar and the SPY trading inversely to each other. And today they were not. They were trading in correlation with each other. So I think today we were going to – I was thinking I would guide you through trying to build something that uses the MACD instead.
Okay.
And we were going to try to take many scalps. Instead of trying to hit big home runs, we're going to try to make a lot of small incremental gains.
Okay. Let's. So first off, we need the MACD.
Sure.
And for new programmers, actually, SPY Scalper, adding the MACD is actually easy because we're going to just do copy and paste.
Cool.
Copy and paste. Boom. Done. All right. What settings do you need your MACD on?
I was thinking we should try to make it just a little bit more sensitive than the normal MACD. So it's normally is it 12, 25, and 9?
Yep. Actually, let me make it bigger. My bad. Make it bigger. There you go. Yep. There we go.
So let's try 9, 18, and 7.
All right.
And we might change this back. We might decide this is too sensitive or something like that. Testing and all that. Right. And then we want to only make trades if so MACD is really bad when you're trading in a range. Okay. It's really good when there's strong momentum and when there's lots of movement, but it's not very good when everything is just churning or coiling in a tight range.
There we go.
So theoretically, we should be able to make something that does well in both. So I was thinking we would also add a filter where we're going to have some kind of an EMA to act as telling us whether or not to be bullish or bearish.
All right. Well, what EMA would you like? We have simple, we have exponential, smooth, linear weighting.
Definitely exponential. You don't have access to geometric, do you?
No, not
okay.
Not
okay,
on this
yeah.
platform.
Exponential EMA is fine. And then I was thinking, let's see what a 12 looks like on a 1 minute.
Give me a second. 12 on 1 minute. Here we go.
Yeah, let's try this. I guess we might need to change it to make it more or less sensitive.
Okay. There, moving average. Let's do the 12. And
ooh, now that I'm thinking about this, since this is a trend filter, maybe instead of 12, we should be using like a 30.
A 30?
Yeah. Let's switch it to like a 30. And then it'll produce fewer touches.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we will want to take a trade on the MACD anytime there's a crossover of the two lines. We're basically just going to be ignoring the histogram. And we only want to trade if price is...
All right, so we want a positive trade. So here's our vertical line. So well, something is not right. My computer's acting funny.
Huh.
It's kind of weird. There it is. See, my mouse is clicking. Kind of weird.
Yeah, it's it's a little choppy. So right there was a good entry. The EMA line is on the wrong side, so that tells me we should try to move to an evenly sensitive EMA.
I see. That's crazy. It's on an invisible color. So, like, kind of weird. All right, so you want to enter once the signal line, this dotted line, crosses over, right?
Yeah. No. When it crosses the black line, there should be two lines there. So
We have.
the MACD has two lines. On most of my software, they're like red and blue, and
Oh, I see.
they produce crossovers. And so we want to buy when the lines cross over, and then we also want to adjust the sensitivity. Yeah. Okay. We want to adjust the sensitivity of that EMA so that it's a little bit less sensitive. It looks like it was going to produce a bad filter on this particular trade right there. So like, let's try pushing it to 50 and see if we can get a little bit better behavior out of the EMA.
50. Boom. Okay. Actually, give me 1 second. Gotta make sure I'm not overlapping appointments. Starts at 10:30. No, starts at Wednesday.
So can we use the slope of the EMA as a filter?
Yeah, we're going to change it up. The moving average has two modes. You can do mode 1 is the black vertical lines, and the dotted red line is the second mode. That's called the signal. So all we have to do is, yeah, my screen is like flickering a little bit. Maybe it's because I think it's because it's sharing.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. So if we go to the reference guides for new beginners, it's pretty easy. Instead of me making it complicated, I can just change it to, instead of making a 1, I can just make it a here. So he can understand what I'm doing too. So we're looking at the mode signal, okay?
Okay.
So we use the signal line. So at the current candle, we have the moving average at 50. All
right. So we want the slope of the EMA to be in our direction. So like if the MACD produces, if the two lines on the MACD have a crossover that's bullish, we want the slope of the EMA to be busy curling up, and in order to take the trade. And then if the MACD is bearish, if the two lines on the MACD produce a bearish crossover, we want the slope of the EMA to be curling down in order to take the trade.
I know exactly how to put that.
Okay. And I feel like once you have all this programmed, we're going to go in and change the EMA values from like 50 to some other number, to try to get better filters, to just continuously improve the entries. Now, I was thinking about exits. And I was thinking, yeah.
1 second. Let me catch up. I'm trying to send the link out to the groups.
Sure.
Give me a second. General chat there. Okay, fantastic. Here we go. All right. So we need a couple of things first. In programming terms, we need more back data, basically. Okay. In programming terms, we need to change up a lot of things. This is main. This is main 1. Signal. And then eventually, like what I usually do is, this is already done somewhere else. I just copy and paste it instead of retyping it up 1,000 times.
I feel like your audience will want to watch you type it out because they're going to have to type it out. They don't have a huge library of pre-written code that you do.
Yeah, thousands of libraries of code. Whoa. Give me a second. And this is why it sucks to have so many screens. Mode main. So guys, I'm just going to the reference. I never do this normally, but for video purposes, here. But just to show people, once you start doing this long enough, you'll memorize this to a point where, like, I'm creating this a lot faster than I think the average person would be, especially his entire strategy.
I know you're writing this a lot faster than the average person will, because I used to code, and you write like the lightning compared to what I was doing.
Let's see. You need a cross of the rule statement. Oh, I'm sorry. You said 2 candles, so I have to do one more back.
Well,
Like
for
the
the exit signals, I was going to talk to you about exiting a majority of the position after a very tiny move and then letting a small amount ride.
Yep, I can do that. Takes a few seconds. And here we go. We're at those rule statements. Rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4. Got the 4 bull statements. MACD, buy. All right. MACD, buy. What is it called? Signal. Make it proper. All right, here we go. That last one's going to be our exiting.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. Actually, if anyone, I had us online a little bit. It'd be nice if Hoffman get on. Maybe he can come to the dark side.
Right.
He'd be like, is this what automated trading looks like? I'm like, yep, this is pretty much what I was doing this entire day.
Writing code.
Especially on my own stuff, it takes forever. There's so many little things that have to be fixed.
Right. Well, you want it to be perfect. If it's your own robot, you're willing to throw, hundreds of hours of work into it.
Yeah, and making it fail. Oh, I'm so happy when you can make something not work. Yeah. Making something work is like typically you're being biased. That's why usually if I can make it fail, then I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Once we get into backtesting, I was going to have you slow down and see if we can find places where it took entries it wasn't supposed to, and then also find places where it missed entries it should have taken. Yeah. And I think that's how we'll try to figure out if the EMA is too sensitive or not sensitive enough, or if the MACD is too sensitive or not sensitive enough.
Do you want it to be? You want the MACD to cross, then enter, or like go from negative to positive, then enter, or positive.
So instead of looking at the histogram, I want to only look at the 2 lines. So that we're basically just going to ignore the histogram for this strategy. And then we're only going to look at the red line, and I traditionally look at a red line and a blue line.
Okay, I'm making a blue line right now.
No, on the MACD, not the EMA. I don't care what color the EMA is. I'm saying the MACDs that I'm used to looking at have they have a signal line and a crossover line, and then they also have a histogram.
You mean like this?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep. Let me edit it. What do you want those measurements to be?
On the lines?
Yep.
They should be determined by the numbers that you already typed in. The 12.25.9 is the standard, but we were trying to build something a little bit more sensitive. So I think I told you 9.18.7.
I think it's 18 exponential.
Yeah.
When you so you want it like here. Oh my God! If another telemarketer calls me again, I'm gonna. God, I'm so. It's like these same telemarketers are just calling me saying, "Hey, open up a credit card. Open up a credit card." I'm like, I do not want a credit card. Please stop sending me these.
I keep getting letters in the mail that are like, your credit score has improved. Would you like another card? And I'm like, no. I'm happy with just like the one. I don't need like 50 cards. I'm not churning. I'm not doing anything like that. I use it on occasion for like big purchases, and that's it.
Same. I mean, okay, so we got this right here. Junior's on. Hey, man, he's a friend in Vegas too.
Cool. So taking a look at where those MACD crossovers are, I'm thinking we should make the EMA a little bit more sensitive. So let's shorten it back down to
which one?
The EMA on the top EMA. Yeah, that EMA. Make it like a 25, and let's see if that's going to produce better slopes for us. Because we want... Yeah. So if you look, when the MACD crosses over to the downside down below, the EMA
Yep.
is busy curling down when that happens. And
Yep.
then when it crosses to the upside, it's busy curling up. So this looks like it might do well for us.
All right, fantastic. So our entry point would be typically right here
Pretty
at this
much. Yeah.
candle.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let me give you guys an arrow of what we were talking about, so I'm not being confusing. Let me do a big giant. Where's my shapes at?
So I like this method
This
because
candle.
it's going to let us repeatedly adjust the sensitivity until we get something we're happy with.
All right, let me program this right now. So I know what I'm looking at now. Cool, fantastic. So it's not biased on here too. So we need to make the crossover right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can always play with the MACD settings and make the MACD more or less sensitive, and then also make the EMA more or less sensitive.
Let me see how. This is actually kind of interesting. I'll have to program this out. Give me a second. Where's that? Kind of interesting. But if you guys have any questions, let me know, or just throw it out there. So this will be equal 0. We're going to skip this. We're going to just deal with the signal for now. And the signal line is going to be up to, basically. Actually, we need a third line, so make sure I write this correctly. This is greater than this, because you said trending. Oh, I missed. And I'm doing bad etiquette. See. Okay, there we go. That's the first one. Usually I just put this all as one line, but we're going to make it very easy and make it 2 lines so people are not confused.
So with the Booleans, these are all, everything has to agree. That's how those Booleans are set up? Like they're not or statements, they're both statements. Like they both have to be in agreement?
It's if everything agrees, it reads as true. If everything reads as one is false, it was false.
It's been a few years since I paid attention to Boolean algebra. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. NAND gates and NOR gates and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done that since I got into programming.
Yeah.
This actually, when I used to program robots, that was one of my best things to do, especially NAND gates. Getting to the TTLs and the 555 timers. Oh man, that's good times.
Yeah, I had a digital class where we spent a whole bunch of time learning how to program clocks and watches and stuff, just to give us an idea of how to deal it. And it was all logic gates. It was kind of bizarro. It took me a long time to get used to it, and then I forgot most of that because I haven't used that skill in a long time.
Yeah, I remember we did it by analog with capacitors and a bunch of diodes, and then make the exact same thing. And instead of using like one small chip to do everything with a capacitor, and then with a capacitor and a transistor, like a PNP transistor, just turn on the light bulb, time it on, time it off. We did it with capacitor. Oh my god, our breadboards were like covered.
Yeah, for our final, they had us make like digital clocks with a breadboard. That was like the last project. It wasn't like the final test, but out of maybe 25 students, only 2 people actually got their clocks to work. Like everyone else had some random problems we couldn't pin down and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure I had a loose wire somewhere, but I couldn't figure out which wire was loose. And no amount of testing on a multimeter was getting it figured out. It was pretty frustrating.
Here we need. Oh my gosh! That's actually it has to be above the etiquette. For me, it makes sense, but I'm trying to make it very simple for the audience. So far, everything I put in makes sense. I know there's no errors. Yep, no errors at all. If there's an error, I'm sorry, guys, on your part. But most likely, when I type, I don't create errors.
I was very happy with your error rate on the last video. You only made a couple of minor typos. You caught them very quickly. They were pretty easy for you to figure out. That's what you want. You want a small number of errors, and you want to be able to realize what they are very shortly after you make them. And then you also hunting them down and finding the problem is typically, historically for me, been the hardest part. Like, where is the problem? You know?
Yeah, there's sometimes it took me it took me like 2 days to figure out an error.
Yeah.
I changed a value that's like deep into my program, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And this thing was like 4,000 lines of code, and it took me I had to literally go down with like a ruler and not force myself to skip down really quickly and just read line. And I'm like, it's right here. Oh my god.
Yeah. One line at a time. Yeah. The ruler is a good idea. I hadn't thought about that, but just like taping a ruler to your screen so you only look at one line at a time. When I edit my writing, one of the tricks that I use is to read every sentence backwards, and then your brain is much better at finding issues on a sentence by sentence basis instead of reading them normally, like left to right, top to bottom.
And you're just cool. Okay. Next thing will be we have some other values we're gonna have to put in. How do you want to set your stop loss and target profit?
So what I want to happen with the strategy is I want like 90% of the position to be sold after a very tiny gain, and then we're going to move the stop loss up, and then let the rest of it ride. Let the other like 10% ride for a bit longer.
Okay.
And the idea is you're going to take a bunch of trades per day, and they're all just going to add up to be something significant.
Let's see. We got this moving right here. Actually, let me see what the spread is on here. The current spread is about 3 pips, so 3 points for us. So 3 points. Okay, so I have to calculate that in there. So how do you want to do this? I need like a reference line. Like you want how much of a profit margin. So if we do like this, for example, let's just do a buy limit. And we'll modify the buy limit to having a stop loss to take profit of. Modify. So, for example, see this right here? Oh, stupid. Come on, grab this. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna punch this computer. So this right here makes $1. So if we bought down here and we moved up here, it'll make $1.
Well, a $1 move is pretty rare on the SPY for the little wiggles. The point of the strategy is to try to make lots of money off of very, very tiny moves in the SPY over many trades, not like on a single trade.
We would need a higher lot size, and basically we need to gamble with more.
Yeah. That's right. And so instead of trading on like 1% of the account, every trade might be like 5% or 10% or something. Okay, but you're going to try to take your risk off the table very quickly after a small move up. And ideally, that what this is going to lead into is eventually you're going to be able to use the same strategy with options, and that one that you like, you're going to hold on to 10% of the options. Like you're going to buy, let's say you buy 10 contracts. You're going to sell 9 of them at the point where you reach sort of a break even or slightly above break even on the entire trade. And then that 10th contract ends up being free. And so if we can prove that this works with shares, which is what we're going to do today, basically, we can come back in and take a look at our settings, because we're going to fine tune the settings. Mm-hmm. Eventually, like a month from now or 2 months from now, when you finally get your ThinkScript skills polished up all the way, we're going to rewrite this whole robot using options, and it's going to make actual profits, like significant profits.
My screen is like getting really weird. Like my entire screen is turning like blurry. It's like it's dying or something.
Is your monitor dying?
No, it's like this is the one I bought like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Okay, so it should.
Let me stop. One second, I stopped sharing.
I just saw a blur pulse like come across your camera, like your camera refocused.
Yeah.
And then fell back into the correct focus. So it might be some sort of auto-focusing issue that you're having.
Whoa. This is crazy. My whole thing is like blinking. Fuck it. I'm going to switch screens. Give me a second, guys. I got 5 monitors, so it's not a big deal. me a second. So now I'm looking over there.
That's fine. I don't mind. I don't need you to make constant, perpetual eye contact with me.
That's THB right there.
Oh man, I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, you got to move your camera so that you're actually looking into the camera, and then he nods, and then he never does it.
Okay, present, share screen, window, entire screen. All right, here we go. Fixed. Yeah. Wow, that's so much better. It's not glitching every 10 seconds. All right, now we go back to what I was doing. Hit compile. Yeah. I need to get the. So are we buying at market when the cross happens, or are we buying at a limit, a pending order?
We're probably going to need to buy at market.
Okay, buy at market.
Yeah.
Lot size would be 0.10. So
the good news with the SPY is that the spreads are always really tight, and so that's marketing into and out of trades on the SPY is typically not that bad. It's very rare that the market makers will give me a poor fill. So with a lot of tickers, they're lower liquidity, and there's fewer market makers, and many of the market makers operate on slower time frames. Whereas with the SPY, there's so much competition to hurry up and grab other people's orders that it's almost all algos. There's very few humans trying to compete against these algos because they don't stand a chance, because a human might take like a full 2 seconds to actually recognize that someone once filled and then go fill them. And the algo can do it in like 100th of the time. So there's basically no human market makers on the SPY anymore. It's all algorithmic.
Here we go. I got the buy limit. Let me move the target. Take pocket to say 37280. And modify. All right. So with this little bit of a move, we are talking about a gain of $15.
Okay.
You need it more or less?
So can we like pan left and pan right and look at other moves? Because just because it looks like it works out well for this move, we want it to just pick another random day or something, and we'll look at that day's price action as well. Like,
there you go.
Sure. Zoom in and we'll just see if we can find a good buy or a good sell or whatever.
If we look at about 70 pips.
Okay.
So 70 points basically. So that would be exactly about $40 per move.
Okay. Yeah, that's the max move. So as far as like when to sell the 90% of the position, I would like if because ideally we're going to set this up later on to do it with options. So we should just be willing to accept the fact that when we're using shares, we're not going to make very much money. So try to sell 90% of the position after like a very small move. Because a very small move in shares is going to be a significant move with options. So I guess you should take it off of the average true range of like multiple candles. Because the ATR, you can set the ATR to be like a conglomerate of multiple candles instead of like the whole day or a single candle, I hope.
Yeah. There you go. IATR. That's 14. A time frame.
Sure, we can always come back in and change these numbers to get it to behave differently.
Sure.
And I'm totally expecting that the first time you go to run a test, this thing is just going to lose money hand over fist.
What stop loss do you want? Time stop loss or no stop loss?
I want a trailing stop.
The initial stop.
So, the initial stop. I guess like 1.5 of the ATR, and then it'll take a pretty significant down move in order to get it to get stopped out right off the bat.
Give me a second. I need to read the ATR. Let's see how it's programmed. Where is it at? It's on my flickering screen. Give me a second. The screen is like flickering, like it's horrible. Definitely restart the computer. No, I don't want this one. I need ATR. So we got 14. Okay. Oh, I see it. Okay.
Cool. And so this should give us a pretty reasonable place to set the initial stop at. And also we can use the ATR to decide how wide the trailing stop should be.
All right, here we go. So you said 1.5 the ATR?
Sure, we'll try that first. We can always come back in and change these later. I fully expect the first version of this thing to not perform well at all. And we're going to have to come in and change the EMA values, the MACD values, the ATR values, all that, until we get something that we're happier with. Ideally, we'll make this so that it has very shallow drawdowns or almost no drawdowns. But we'll be sacrificing most of the upside, which is fine. Because eventually we're going to try this same strategy with options instead of shares, and then you'll see actual gains come out of nowhere.
All right. How much time do I got? We got a few minutes left, but we'll see.
Sure. Did you say you had another meeting?
Yeah. Well, we have about 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Let's run this. Control R. It's already done. It's gonna infinite loop though. I already know it's going to do that
because we didn't give it a clear sell signal. Other than the 90% we want to sell, we never defined when to hold on to the last 10%, how long to hold on to it.
I haven't programmed that out. There's a couple ways in doing it. There's a proper management called there's a dual way of doing it. There's a singular way of doing it. It's up to the individual. So when we see it enter and exit, then I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Okay. I forgot the name of the program. Spy Scalper. Where are you at? Spy. All right. And we're not doing Tesla.
No, we're not. We're definitely not doing Tesla. We're doing the Spy.
Yes. Wow. 1 minute, and we're going to do a spread of 2. And we are going to do. Actually, we can't go too far back because of the 1 minute. Let's just go back.
Just a few days even. The last few days have had both fairly calm days and some of the wildest days that the entire year saw. So if it trades well during this last week and a half, it'll trade well in most environments.
Let's do the 1st of December then.
Sure.
Whoa, it is going fucking quick.
Oh yeah. There should be like hundreds of signals generated.
Whoa. All right, I think the account did bad.
Well, I expected to do horrible until we tweak it. Yeah, look at that. That's wicked bad.
Oh, yeah.
So I know you only have 10 minutes left or something, but let's go back and find a bad entry and try to figure out why the entry was bad. Here, just pick any old loss.
There. ATR was our stop loss, so that's not too bad. Actually, let me go back to the past. Here you go. So this one did. Oh, I already know what the error is.
Okay.
The control needs to be fixed. Exiting requirements needs to be added. Trailing stop loss needs to be modified. There's we need an exit timer right here. Exit timer basically controls how much time it takes for the next entry after that one. So this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. These doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. There's about.
If you want to spend the next 5 minutes adding some stuff to make it behave the way we're trying to make it behave, we can worry about tuning it into something that's actually viable, the next time we meet.
Hand pink waving. Hey, buddy. Guys, I know this takes a short one, but it's better than 0. And also, if you have any questions, just let me know. I will you know what? I'm just going to copy and paste it real quick.
Sure, whatever you need to do.
Here.
We only had 5 minutes left, so.
I've already made half this stuff already. Here we go. Yeah, I can just copy this. Or just total block. This is what happens when programmers get lazy.
Well, you just dip into your library of code and you're like, I need this.
Yeah, a lot of times, if it was this, if it was normal, it would just be a function. It'd be like function, 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 and it'd be this like everything. All this would be summed up in like 3 lines of code.
I can make you rewrite it the next time we meet. I don't mind if it looks ugly. I care about how it performs.
All right, you want to set? We need to keep 90% of it.
Yeah, we're gonna sell 90% after a really small move, and then hold on to the last 10% and let that ride.
Here, let me just show you how I would do that. The simplest way. If you guys want to have a heavy scalp, what I would do is this. He said he wants 90%, so 10. So basically, you have 10. So $10. This is an example. So just put 0.01 and then put 0.09, and then do the stop loss instead of being at 80. We can do 10%, right? So at $8, and this would be at 80. And if we just do that simple calculation, oh my gosh, we're going to delete you guys real quick. Just to show this as an example. Where's 1? I know 1 doesn't exist. Where are you at 1? Oh yeah. You're not 1. You're going to be called 1. All right, here. Now we're going to run this back on MetaTrader right here. This is exact same example, same errors, but we're going to show them why that little beefy 90%. See how it's hitting that 90% so quickly?
Yep. And you want to just take small profits and then let that 10% ride. And theoretically, if we set it up right, the 90% with a small gain should make the 10% basically risk-free, or closer to risk-free. It really depends on how much it cost you to get in and stuff like that.
So, guys, I'm going to explain that what he said, the risk-free part. If we examine, and as a programmer, this many traders ask for the exact same thing, which just makes it even easier. See this right here? At the same point, it took 2 entries, okay, 2 buy orders. That second buy, the first buy order take profit here, okay?
Yeah.
And then so this is our model that we will make. So usually when I need to see how to program something, I let it take a perfect trade somewhere, and then I delete all the other trades by making that algorithm right here. So we want this to be the model, and these are just blunders like this. Actually, it wouldn't even matter so much because it's so heavy.
So that loss to the left there, what was the MACD and the EMA doing when they decided to enter? Do we need to change the settings to get rid of false entries and stuff?
Yeah, you have to modify it a little bit to get rid of a lot of like this right here, this little ending right here. That's a false entry.
Okay.
This right here, these don't exist. This right here exists. This.
Okay.
How would I say it? Once the price moves too far away, we will move the stop loss as a trailing stop loss.
Yep.
So that's why for me, when it comes to things like this, they don't exist until I program them out of there.
Because you're going to code them out, yeah.
This doesn't exist.
This is still not even quite a rough draft, like this is gonna it's gonna take us it's probably at least another session to get this thing to actually function the way that we want it to.
Actually, it looks like you can get rid of 80-90% of all these bad trades. Boom, yeah, this is a bad trade. I mean, this is actually a clear example of it working. And if we get rid of these losses, I would say most likely the account would be about $100 up from the December 1st to December 4th, maybe about $200.
Off a $1,000 account?
Yep.
Yeah. See, this is why I was like, let's do a scalp bot instead of a swing for the fences bot.
Let's see. How much time do you got? Like 2-3 minutes. Whoa, he wants to spend that much? People these days.
You have a client wants to drop like more than 10 G's on you writing them 40,000 lines of code?
They want to spend an expensive amount on a robot.
On a robot, yeah.
Yeah, I told them expenses not equal income.
Yeah. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to produce awesome performance.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a couple functions.
How
But
many of the people that approach you actually know how to trade?
percentage?
Yeah. Like half of them or
0.
75% of them?
Yeah, 0.
Zero? They don't know how to trade, and they want you to just write them a trading robot.
I would say it's. I have like if you look at my library of people who ask for robots, they'll
Yeah.
say I have a strategy. I'm like, I don't care what the strategy is. I will make anything that you ask for. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, does it make money? I say it's illegal for me to tell you
Yeah.
that something makes money.
I mean,
I
it
can't
can make
promise.
money.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean it will.
like it can also burn the account, but
Yeah.
I'll make sure that you have full control over it. I'll give you the video game controller with the video game I made for you. Actually, I have a video game controller in here. I had a client ask me for that before once, and I'll show you. It's pretty cool. It actually trades like a video game.
Cool.
Here, before we depart, let's call it Master Controller. Thanks to that. Master Controller.
And it'll let the operator change settings.
Yeah, change anything.
Cool.
It's like a video game. Yeah, actually, it's on a different terminal.
Oh yeah, don't worry about trying to show it to me right now. So this looks like it is taking a lot of small paper cuts, and it's also producing some big winners.
Yeah, it's just taking small losses that don't exist.
That won't exist after we filter them out.
Yeah, completely won't exist at all.
Yeah, well, and I feel like the next time we get together, we're going to change the sensitivity on the EMA and the MACD, and we're going to find something that is just the right amount of sensitive.
Here you go. This is my video game one. Literally, you can trade like a video game. You can enter in on a double your lot size, lock in 100 pip stops. So if you want to buy single, you can sell, buy, double up, and then close all trades.
Cool.
And this is an easy robot. Like I just feel like if you want to create something that trades like a robot but do it manually, you can just do this just like this.
That's interesting.
Let me see. Actually, if you do, I used to before I transitioned into fully automated trading robots, I got into the semi-automation.
Mm-hmm.
But after a few years, you get so sick of manual trading. That's why outside of stocks and some crypto, everything I do is 100% automated. I can't. It gets so annoying looking at entries. I'm like, oh my god, it feels like I'm going backwards. But yeah, sorry guys for the short video, but that's the best I can do so far. I have an appointment that I cannot reschedule, and they're waiting for me right now.
Okay. Well, Andre, you have yourself an excellent night.
All right, guys. Peace. Stop sharing. And yeah, that was awesome. Cool. I think this robot would do pretty good.
I think once we tune it up, it should have pretty good performance. And then once we rewrite the same settings into an options trading robot instead of a shares trading robot, you're going to get, it's going to produce really good money.
Really, really good. Let me see. All right, man. But I will see you guys later. I think we're still live. Peace. Live stream.